something in addition to that? I'm sorry, I thought I did. Okay.
He has an introduction.
Read the introduction and sign.
Is this your introduction here? No. Okay. So, is Marcus Foster?
Yeah.
Is the title of your speech. So Jim will be sharing a story about moving to California and how Marcus Foster tried to improve the Oakland School District. He will explain why he became interested in this bit of history. Jim has 7 minutes for his presentation. Thank you, Jim.
Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. In the early 70s, my dad, who had served in the Navy for 22 years, decided to retire. We happened to be way over in Sasebo, Japan, living there for 3.5 years. And then it came up that we could go anywhere in the world. Where would we go? We looked at a map, we looked at cities, and one city stood out. It was Oakland. We read it as Oakland. It had a nice ring to it. So on July 4th of 1972, we landed in Oakland, California. We had come from a conservative military background, living on bases, and we came to California. At that time, America had just gone through its cultural revolution of the 60s, and we came here. There were ramifications of the Vietnam War. There was problems with disparity in the school system, and there were many problems. Marcus Foster, who was back east in Philadelphia, came to Oakland, California to become the first black superintendent of the Oakland Unified School District. Does anyone know? Heard that name before?
I know the school in Oakland.
Good. He was actually fairly well known, became a national figure. The school system actually, at that time, I would say, was in shambles. There were a lot of graffiti, it was dirty, in need of repair. And Marcus Foster came to see what he could do. There were schools you may have even heard, like Castlemont, or King School, Skyline High in Oakland, and some of those which my brothers and I attended. When the students would be in sports, they go to these other schools in other areas that were very well manicured. And when the students would come back to their dilapidated schools, what did they think? Well, Marcus thought that the students would think, well, I'm not worthy of those nice schools over there. And when he would visit the schools, parents would come around and say, sir, could we have some paint so we can make this school look better? Marcus thought that he would rather just tear that school down, bring a bulldozer in and rebuild. That's how bad he thought things were. There were other groups at the time that had other ideas. Probably you've heard of SLA, Sudanese Liberation Army. They were sort of leftist. They had their own agenda. They would actually go out and do things, and not good things. There was one time when Robert Blackburn and Marcus Foster were walking to their car, and they saw some figures in the distance against the wall. And all of a sudden, they opened fire. They shot Marcus and Blackburn. Marcus was shot 8 or 9 times with cyanide-packed bullets, and he died. That just brings to mind what we do in this country to people who really try to make a change. You can think of people who fought for civil rights, starting with Abraham Lincoln, or John F. Kennedy, or Martin Luther King. This was 1973 when Marcus was assassinated. He was only 50 years old. Now I want to just explain why I'm a little bit interested in this story. 17 years later, my wife and I were married, and we chose a minister. Her name was Marcia Foster. maybe Philip remembers her. She was a black ordained minister, and she herself was breaking ground because at that time it wasn't so accepted for a woman to be in the clergy, or a black woman at that. But she was the minister that performed our marriage, and so I knew that her father was well known, and I decided to look into it. I would like to share just a few words from Marcus, if technology will allow me to do this. I think it will. So that you can hear some of his words and hear the conviction, maybe appreciate that he really cared for the students. This is a school board meeting.
The stated priorities are early childhood education. The first one was reading, and then the second priority was early childhood education. And we took our line by line budget and recast it to automatically to find out where the money was going. And it turned out that reading was true. Most of the money in that system was going into physical education, art, and music. And I have nothing against that. There are beautiful programs that witness music in the lives of these young people. They mentor us all spiritually. But if we say our priority is reading, then we have to somehow allocate our resources in a way that allocation matches our priorities. This is another way of saying put your money where your priorities are. That's what we intend to do. Returning now to the place for health study. We believe that the following principles must underlie the management reorganization. The management reorganization should be accomplished within present levels of expenditure for supporting functions. Simply meaning we want to do this within our present budget. Resources committed to the support of basic skills and other high priority programs should be increased. Some of the management responsibilities now with the central office should be allocated to regional organizations, each headed by an associate superintendent.
Well, in the interest of time, I better go ahead and stop.
Centralized management and for community
I got the green light here.
Five,
Now,
parents and other members of the community.
Thank you.